Welcome, everybody. Good evening, definitely. Just want to introduce and welcome you guys to Youth and Business. Today, hopefully, you guys can hear me loud and clear from my mic. We just want to say good afternoon, good evening to some of us directly. We want to welcome you guys to Youth and Business. Today has been an amazing day. We are really excited about answering some of these questions and concerns that some of our youth definitely have in business. We have with us, my name is India Andrews Hartman. I am literally from Hartman Consulting, which is a consulting firm, but also with youth. A youth nonprofit organization called Love Speaks. Here with me today, we have Denicia Matthews. Say hey, Denicia. We are live.
Hi.
Yes, she will be interviewing me today. Basically, any questions or concerns she may have. You guys are more than welcome to ask any questions in the chat, and I also will answer those. But we actually have some questions she may have for me today to be able to answer those questions for you. So we're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna do a brief introduction of who I am. Again, I am India Andrews Hartman. I am 31 years old. I have a degree in criminal justice, associates in arts as well, directly. I have been doing nonprofit consulting and LLC consulting for about 4 going on 5 years. I have been the founder of a nonprofit organization for the past 8 years. I consult people daily. Before and after this live as well, directly. I also with Denicia. I also am a mentor, a youth mentor as well. So yeah, she's gonna go ahead and ask questions basically that you guys may have. If you have additional questions, then you're more than welcome to ask them, like I said, in the chat. So we can go ahead and get those answered as well. Denicia, if you're ready, you can introduce yourself if you like. But I did introduce you, and you're more than welcome to go ahead and get started with those questions.
Okay. What business do you have?
Okay. Well, the businesses that I have, number one is Hartman Consulting, as I told you guys. We are a consulting firm. We basically help nonprofits and LLCs and other business services like contracts. We do training classes and different things like that. I also have Love Speaks Incorporated, which is also what I stated to you guys. It is a youth nonprofit organization, has been around for 8 years, make November. I also have Mothers of Angels Inc., which is incorporated. That is a basically a ministry, is a nonprofit as well. Basically, we have been in effect. I want to say right at probably not even a month now. Today, it's a new ministry that helps women heal through trauma of child loss. And I also am a paparazzi jewelry consultant as well. So those are the four businesses currently that I have. Okay.
Okay. Okay. What is the difference between a nonprofit and a for-profit, and how did you start each one of them?
Okay. Well, the difference between a nonprofit and a for profit. So, I'm also here to kill a lot of myths as well. So, a nonprofit organization, nonprofit deals with the tax benefits of everything. Nonprofits can make a profit, but it's what you do with the money. So, I did jot down some ideas, you guys. Of some things maybe I tell clients. Okay, when you try to figure out the difference, okay, do I want to do a nonprofit or do I want to do a for profit? So one thing is the mission. What are you trying to do? Does it help the greater good? Now you can have a for-profit business that helps the greater good, but more so, you're with the whole point of a for-profit business is you're trying to make sales. For example, you have our youth doing lip gloss. What is lip gloss? Work the sandals, the shades, what the lashes and different things like that. Dealing a lot with our youth, those will be for-profit businesses because they want to make money from it and they want to put it back into their pockets. When you're dealing with a nonprofit organization, more so you're trying to do a mission for the greater good. So, for example, if you wanted to help, like if you're a teenager and you wanted to help other teenagers be able to overcome stuff in life, then that would be more so of a nonprofit organization. A nonprofit benefits the public good. Like it's literally its mission is basically to help other people or to help the community that's around it. It literally thinks about what can I do to help the greater good. Also, nonprofit organizations
Okay.
are not owned. So what that means is that it's a public entity, meaning like I can't say I own a nonprofit. I founded a nonprofit. I'm the incorporator of a nonprofit, but it's actually the people that make up the nonprofit is a board of directors. When you have a for-profit business, you are the owner, you make the money, you can have people on your team, you can pay them how you need to pay them and different things like that. But however, with the money that comes from the for-profit, it goes back to you or however you want. When you're dealing with a nonprofit, it has to further the mission of the nonprofit. However, you can pay for goods and services. Also, again, a lot of people say with nonprofits, I owned, and again, you founded a nonprofit. A nonprofit is one of the major, it's some of the amazing things. So you have to really think about what are you wanting to do with the funds? What are you trying to do with the whole thing? And most people, when they start telling me their idea, and stuff like that, I can kind of tell you whether you're going more towards a nonprofit or a for-profit. And some people really can go towards both. It just really depends. And you said what made me choose which one, I think is what you asked. For Hartman
Mm-hmm.
Consulting, of course, that's a for-profit business because our main concern is to help other people start nonprofit organizations and basically to create an income from it. So we wanted to create income in order to pay ourselves and things. So of course that would be a for-profit business. But when you're thinking about Love Speaks, the mission is to help, motivate and encourage youth and basically to renew and reconstruct their minds. That is a more non-profit because we're literally helping them for the greater good. We needed money, grants, and we needed 501c3 status basically
Mm-hmm.
in order to help us obtain what we're trying to do inside of the community. Um, as far as with Mothers of Angels Inc., that was one I kind of would try to figure out which one I wanted to do, for profit or nonprofit, because you
Mm-hmm.
can sell services. You can sell stuff inside of a nonprofit. So I sell healing boxes with the Mothers of Angels Inc. However, the money doesn't go back in my pocket. The only money that went back to me is the money that I invested in it, the initial
Mm-hmm.
investment. But
Yeah.
however, once the money started rolling in, I basically sell the boxes and I purchase directly from that account what I need to do for the boxes, and the money goes back into it in order to like supply our events and things like that. So when you're trying to decide, is the major question between, just think about overall, like I said, what you're trying to do, what type of mission you have and things like that. And do not confuse the two as well, because they ran two totally different separate ways. Okay.
Okay. Which is harder for you to run in your opinion? Like, which business is harder for you to run in your opinion?
I say a nonprofit is, in my opinion. When you're
Mm-hmm.
thinking about a nonprofit organization, it's a lot more things you have to take in effect. You have to be more so in tune with the IRS. So especially when you become 501c3. So
Mm-hmm.
when you're a nonprofit, you have to, first of all, you have to have a board, which that's more work, number one, as well, because you're not the only one making decisions. You're making
Mm-hmm.
decisions amongst your board. And then there's certain ways and guidelines that you have to adhere to when you have a nonprofit. For example, the voting, you have to vote on things and stuff in a nonprofit organization. You have to
Mm-hmm.
take notes and stuff like that. When you have a for-profit, doesn't mean you don't have to take notes, but you don't have to have meetings in a for-profit business and things like that. So to start up and everything, the hardest would be a nonprofit. It's not hard to run a nonprofit. I guess also I'm a consultant, so I would know that. But for on the other side, it is a lot more things to take into effect when you have a nonprofit. And that's why a lot of people stay out of it because they don't want to have to get a board. They don't want to have to worry about trying to keep stuff in line and things like that. Even though you still are with the business, like when you selling t-shirts or lip gloss, I always tell my youth to make sure that they are writing down their sales. A lot of times when they're selling, and I talk to them, a lot of times when they're selling, they're not even selling for the price that it's supposed to be at. For example, the keychains with the things, like if you spent on your products for one keychain, if you spent $5, let's say, on that one keychain, then why are you selling it for $6? There's no profit there. There's only $1 profit, and barely that, because especially if you got to go drive and meet somebody to go give it to them, that's gas. So that's why you have to be careful. You have to write up your costs and everything and be efficient on a for-profit business, just to put that as well. And also, you don't want to go, just to give you guys some feedback, you don't want to go too cheap on your stuff. Charge, if you feel like it's too much, then you need to find a different way to get your manufacturer to get the amount cheaper then. If you feel like you're charging too much, but don't never go below just to sell out, but you're selling, but however, you're not making anything. And the goal is not to come even. The goal is to make a profit when you're having a for-profit business, but also a nonprofit as well.
Mhm.
So that's what I would say it's harder to run would be a nonprofit again, because there's just a lot more stuff and guidelines that you have to adhere to.
Okay. Which starting process is more difficult or should one get help to handle the legal work?
More difficult, I would say.
Mhm.
Go ahead and repeat your question. I think your screen froze. I'm sorry, baby.
Okay, I'm sorry. Which starting process is more difficult? Should one get help to handle the legal work?
Okay, a nonprofit would be a little bit more difficult. Um,
Okay.
for profits within state, just to give you guys the process, kind of. Um, on a for-profit business, you have to make sure the name is available. It goes by state. In Alabama, you have to reserve the name. In other states, you don't have to. You have to make sure the name is available. You have to file the paperwork with your state, for your LLC, your for-profit business. Most people choose LLCs. And then you have to get your EIN number so you can get a bank account. That's all really for a for-profit business. You just have to make sure you separate the money, and everything, and you just have to make sure that you fill out the paperwork correctly. All right. On a nonprofit, it's a little more steps. You have to make sure your name is available, kind of like the same steps. You have to, for Alabama, reserve the name. You have to get your EIN number. You have to register it with the state. But also with the nonprofit, you have to have your bylaws and your conflict of interest. You have to have a clear vision and mission statement. And you also, if you want to file for 501c3, then you file for 501c3. So it just depends. When a for-profit business, you do have to pay taxes to the state. For a nonprofit business, you're not having to pay taxes to pay taxes at all. If you're 501c3, you don't have to pay those. So that would be the difference of it. For that, for the legal question of it, um, speaking from a non-consultant way, because I know a lot of people, as me being a consultant, people would think I would say yes, you need to get someone to help you legally. I do believe you do, and I'm gonna tell you why. Um, the part that always scared me when I first started off was the language that was basically included. And a lot of people that I see today say you can do it yourself. Trust me, I get that all the time. I'm also a do-it-yourself person. That's why I provide do-it-yourself packages. I teach you how to do it, and I tell you what to put and how to fill it out. I have that for those do-it-yourself people and literally want to know how to do it. However, the legal way, the legal person, the person to help you do the legal paperwork, as far as with a consulting or someone to help you, because that language they can use can be confusing, and sometimes you can put stuff that's not even supposed to be filled out, or you putting the wrong information at that particular part, and therefore you finding yourself on a for-profit business, you're paying more taxes than you're supposed to because of what you chose on the paperwork, and you really didn't understand how to fill it out or whatever. It's a lot of paperwork that I fill out, and then they look over and say, you didn't fill out this, it wasn't supposed to be. Some things are supposed to be left blank when it comes to the for-profit paperwork. On a nonprofit, most people get confused at the 501c3 paperwork, and it's some questions on there that definitely it was supposed to answer a certain way, but you're thinking one way when the IRS is thinking one way. So I would say yes, get help. And the forms are not hard only because I fill them out, but I promise I have been challenged a lot from different states, I would say, on certain verbiage, and stuff. And then the state works with you and things that you have to go back and you have to just make sure that it's done. So some stuff is definitely easy, but I would say if there's somebody that can help you legally, help you the legal way, I would say get them. And no, you do not need a lawyer. You just need a consultant. And I definitely say if somebody's going to help you, make sure that you make sure that they're not a scam. Most of my clients have dealt with scammers. And so that's why I try to communicate effectively and proficiently and consistently to my clients, because you want to make sure that they understand who you are and what you do. So when trying to get someone to help you, a lot of people don't like using consultants because they say they charge too much. For me, I have looked at different prices and things. I've lowered my prices, I've upped my prices. Now they're right where they're supposed to be at. And so you just have to find somebody that's in your budget. That's all. That's really what you have
Okay.
to do. So there's different consultants out there that can help you, that may help you little to nothing. Then there's consultants that are going to charge you a little bit more. Find out what they offer. Find out what they're offering for that price and everything, and then figure out what feels right with what you need to do. I think that'll be my answer for that question as well.
Okay. My question for you is, how much did your LLC cost versus your nonprofit fees?
Okay, so LLC, let's start there first. So with
Okay.
LLC, it costs $0 to get an EIN number. Do not let anybody, even when people need me just to get their EIN number, I don't even charge them. It takes 5 minutes to get an EIN number. It's $0. Then you have to file with your state. And so with Alabama, you have to pay $28 to get your name reserved just for Alabama. For other states, you just have to make sure the name is available. They're not going to charge you to reserve the name. And then you have to file with your state for a LLC. Your state is going to have different costs. I know Alabama, the cost is 153 to 181 depending on the county.
Okay.
For Pennsylvania, the cost is, well, I know, for example, Texas is $300. All the costs are different. That's why every client I go behind and I go actually read to see. I have to look up the cost, but the state has different costs. You can actually find it on your Secretary of State website. If you don't know, you're more than welcome to always write me or see about it. And then once you do that cost, you will have a state. Some states have taxes, like Alabama has the Alabama Business Entity Tax. It's a minimum of $100. For some states, they call it an annual fee. You have to pay that fee every year and everything. So with that, you have to just make sure that that's taken care of as well. That's the LLC cost. For a nonprofit, again, it follows the same way. You need an EIN, that's $0. You need to reserve your name with Alabama, that's $28. Then you're gonna have to pay your state. Then you have to draft your bylaws and conflict of interest. So you either can draft them up yourself directly, or we do them for our clients. And then the 501c3 for a nonprofit organization. If you are not forming a church, school, or a hospital, for that case, and you do not make over $50,000 directly, then you can file the EZ. It is the same form. It's the same status you can get. I'm sorry, it's not the same exact form. The forms give you the same status, but the other one is for it breaks down. It's 26 and a half pages, and it breaks down the budgets and your programs and different things like that. So you just have to be careful as well. Also, the IRS has a eligibility worksheet as well you can go through, and you have to just talk to somebody to see if you're eligible. That fee is only $275 to the IRS, to the federal government. If you're going to do a church, school, or a hospital, or you make over 50K directly, then that form is $600 directly filing fee. And then you would add the cost of someone, basically to pay someone to do it, or you can do it yourself.
Okay. Can I start a nonprofit if I am under the age of 18?
You can start it, but you cannot be the person that's over it. So you have to be 18 in order to get an EIN. Well, you have to be 18 more so, not saying EIN. At 18, I know for a fact with a nonprofit, because you have to be able to sign legal documentation. I actually had a 17-year-old client that started her nonprofit. However, literally sitting there at this very desk, but her mom is the one that was over. So when you want to start a business and you under 18, most time it's going to go on your mom's name first, and then you can be in a nonprofit. You can be on the board as a director, though, underneath the age of 18. You just cannot be the actual incorporator of it at that time. And then as far as a LLC, the same thing applies. When you want to get your children a business, it will have to go in your name, and then you can sign them on with you as part of the team and everything.
Okay. Can I start a profit if I am under 18?
Can you do what now?
Can I start a profit if I am under 18?
A non-profit?
A profit.
Okay. Can you receive a profit, or what are you asking?
Can I start a pro? No, yeah. Can I start for a profit if I am under 18?
It's going to be the same risk. It will go under your
Okay.
parents' name until you turn 18.
Okay, okay. If my parents have a business, how much can they pay me a year without me having to pay taxes?
On a reality, if you're under 18, you're not going to pay taxes. So I this was one of the questions I literally had and I'm thinking about. So number one, if your parents have a business, they're just going to report it as an expense. So for example, if you were basically, if I hire you, Denicia, to help Hartman Consulting, and I wanted to pay you $50 a week, I'll just add as expense that I paid Denicia to come and work for $50 a week. That you're not filing taxes on that. I'm only just paying you as a part of an expense. You're basically, because family, you can have family businesses and different things like that. So no, you're not going to have to pay taxes. That's just an expense that they have to account for that they paid you.
Okay. What would you tell someone who wants to start a business today?
Oh, okay. Number one, I tell people to write the vision down. A lot of times we have so many ideas in our head to the fact that we run rapid with it. You guys, I talk to so many clients that have four ideas in one. Like they think it's gonna be one thing, and it, like especially nonprofits, they have all these ideas. Like they want to help veterans, then they want to help the homeless, and then they want to help teenagers, and then they want to help single parents, and then they want to help teenagers with kids. And you can, in a sense, help some sort, but your vision would have to be so broad. So you have to literally think about what exactly do you want to help? Who do you want to help? So you write the vision and your mission down. To give you some pointers, a vision is what you are set out to do, what you are called to do. Your mission is how you are set out to do it. How are you going to do this? So your vision is overall, excuse me, your vision is overall when you look back at the end of the day that you want to accomplish this. Your mission is how are you going to accomplish this on a day-to-day basis to obtain the vision that you set forth. So my first advice is whether you got a nonprofit or you got a for-profit, write it down, write the ideas down. Get you a book. I have plenty of books and stuff like that. I write stuff down. Number two, organization. Separate certain stuff. So if you have one book for one thing, one book for another, if you got a for-profit and a nonprofit you want to start, separate it to a certain extent. Number three, be professional. You have to learn how to be professional. There's no way that you can and when you, and even at a young age, yes, you guys, you can learn how to be professional. It's a lot of you guys, that I see daily that aren't professional. And so as I'm still young myself, I consider only 31. So when you're talking to people and you're selling your different things, be respectful and be professional, be proficient. If you don't know how, then get trained and get somebody to help you, get your parents to help you, get a mentor to help you learn how to be professional at all sense, because you don't want to write people and be upset. Stop going on social media and writing and typing out your frustration with your customers. And really, this is the season, honestly, where a lot of youth are starting businesses. Like I've never seen it like never before. When we was growing up, we had to get a job. Now we have more self-proficient youth like it's never before, and it's amazing. However, a lot of us lack professionalism and we lack a lot of ways that we do. So that would be my advice. Number one, like I said again, is to write down everything. Write your vision, write your mission, write down everything. Write down your goals, how much money you want to make for the week and everything. Go towards it directly. Go directly towards it. Have some type of organization skills and everything. If not, take classes. There's a lot of free classes out here versus if it's inexpensive classes. Like I teach training classes on different things. Definitely make sure you do that. So again, if you are going, let me break it off. If you're doing a for-profit business, just make sure that also that you writing the vision down, you writing down your goals, you making sure that you making enough money and stuff like that. You making sure that you're researching. Don't go off the first thing and stuff. Don't just be the first person to buy. Research. I'm a researcher. I'm not cheap. I'm very frugal though, because even when making my charm bracelets, like I have a charm bracelet here, I know exactly how much money that I spent on this charm bracelet and how much money that literally I would sell it for to be reasonable to provide a profit. Make sure that you're receiving and getting a profit and you're not just doing it because your friend's doing it. That's another thing. Do not start a business just because everybody else doing it. You guys, I'm not saying nothing is wrong with selling these things, selling these lip gloss, but try to don't do it just because somebody else do it. Do it because it's your passion and something that you like to do. A lot of people are going after everybody else, and I'm not stopping and saying don't start the business. But when you start it just to make the money because you see the excitement from it, but then you're gonna start to feel bad when you're not getting the same amount of money that they are because you're comparing yourself to other people. Definitely find something that you're good at and then you go for it. Try to find something out the box that you're good at. Sometimes it's just a lot of repetitive stuff, and I would love to see different stuff. It's so many people doing the same exact thing. It does not mean that the market is saturated for you. If this is what you're supposed to do, I'm not telling you not to do it. But I'm saying the reason why you're doing, don't do it just because your best friend is doing it because you have an interest in it and you want to do it. And you really have a heart for it, because when that heart goes out the window, or when you get tired of doing it, can you still continue to do it, or are you going to stop just because you're not making money from it? And that's one thing. When you normally do something with your heart and you know it's something you really want to do, um mainly you're going to continue to do it even when you're not making a profit, because you know that it's gonna catch up. If you're doing a nonprofit, I say my advice to you is, again, write the vision, write the mission, get those people around you to help you be able to help you be the best. And everything. When you want to do a nonprofit, like I said, it's a lot more work, but do not run away from it. You have people out there that can help you. Also, if you're under the age of 18 and you want to start a nonprofit, write down your ideas, write down why you want to do it, write down the activities that you want to do, and then find an adult or your parents really to help guide you. If you 17 finna be 18, then, and let's say you finna be 18 in 6 months, then continue to write the vision down. And then you can wait till you 18 to actually get legalized the paperwork. But you can go ahead and start the vision beforehand. It's just legalizing the paperwork is what you have to be 18 for. However, if you just want to make sure that you want to do the work, you can. That's not stopping you or anything.
Okay. Where can I go for support during my business journey?
Support. There's a lot of support out here. If you guys are on social media, a lot of you guys on Instagram, there's groups and stuff on Instagram. Not groups, I'm sorry. It's different chats you may want to get on. If you have fans, friends, family for support. If you're on social media like Facebook, there's a lot of support groups out there that are for young girls. Like, I am in about 10 groups that's ages maybe 15 to 20, they young. And so I'm in there really just helping guide them and things like that, or giving them advice. There's a lot of groups, Facebook groups out there that can definitely help you for support and everything. And just even on the other side of that point, don't stop what you want to do because people don't support you. A lot of people stop because people don't support them. And a lot of people stop because don't even start because they scared of who nobody ain't gonna support them. You do it regardless. If you know this is really in your heart what you want to do, you find that one person. Even if you don't have that one person, you believe in yourself. You get out there, you
Right.
seek advice from outside of friends and family. And if you're on social media and stuff like that, and see who can guide you in the right place. I talk to so many people that don't do exactly what they want to do because they're scared people ain't gonna support them. I literally had to push people um beyond their comfort zones because they felt like people aren't supporting them and different things like that. Just make sure that you guys know that you definitely can get support in all areas. It may not come from your friends and family, so don't look at them. Most of my support, I'm not saying friends and family don't support me. I'm just saying most of my clients come from strangers. They come from people. I delete a lot of people on my social media and on my Instagram, and I add in people that I don't know, and therefore that breaks up my target audience to target people who don't even know me that I want to introduce to what I can provide for them.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Is there any other questions, Mr. Nicia?
No, ma'am.
All right. All right. Hold on here. Okay. So, Living Life does says, how long does a board member serve? That's a great question. So it depends on your state how long a board member serves. Um, it also depends on your bylaws as well. A lot of bylaws say that board members serve a minimum of 2 years and different things like that. It's honestly gonna go by the bylaws for your state. Now, for my team, for my nonprofit directly, um, our board members serve 2 years, and then we bring it up for new board members to come in. If new board members don't come in, then we revote the membership to see if anybody wants to change positions, and then we continue to go. So it really depends on that. Asia Tisdale says, at what point should I get an LLC for business? That's a good question, Asia. So I get this question and I would try to tell people. So let me be honest, a lot of people run for LLCs, all right? And so I'm not
Mhm.
telling you don't run for LLC, but I literally if you first, I feel like you need to have the idea and know this is exactly what you want to do. If not, you'll end up having to dissolve the LLC with the state. Okay. So first, to know that at what point, I would say at the point you know you have like a steady income coming in. So if you know for the past, let's say you worked for 2 months for 60 days, you have had a steady income both months of 90 days and everything. When you have that and everything, just make sure that you have some type of steady income, because you don't have to pay taxes. Now your taxes may not cost so much and the annual fee may not cost so much. Like some people don't even have annual fees. For Alabama, I think ours is minimum of $100. For some states I've seen $50 a year and stuff. But just make sure that this is exactly what you're going to be doing, that you have a great and strong foundation to what you want to do. And let me break down LLC just a little bit more as well. So LLC stands for Limited Liability Company. Okay. So what that is a for-profit business. So the reason why people get them, number one, it legalizes your business. It does. It makes it says that Hartman Consulting Incorporated is a legal business within the state of Alabama. That's what it says basically for us. And so also it is a liability. So it separates India and Hartman Consulting. So somebody try to sue Hartman Consulting, they're suing Hartman Consulting. They're not suing me. So it cannot come from my personal assets. Can't come for the house, the car. Well, my car is my asset, so they can't come for that or anything like that. They're gonna come for whatever the business withholds and everything. So that's why a lot of people go towards LLCs, and it allows them to file Schedule C, which is self-employment on their taxes and everything. That's the reason why most people want to have a legal business. And a lot of people are doing it now because, of course, of the loans and stuff that's given out, but you have to serve for a certain amount of time. Should I be my own registered agent? Great question. You can be your own registered agent. This is what I tell clients. When I started out doing paperwork, LegalZoom did my paperwork. Not against LegalZoom at all. Don't get me wrong. However, as far as the whole point with your own registered agent is that a lot of these companies, you basically, let me tell y'all what a registered agent is. A registered agent is a person that's responsible for receiving the documentation, whether taxes or stuff from the state, the legal documentations for the business. Basically, it's on your registered agent to make sure they communicate with you about your annual fees and stuff like that as well. So you can be your own. For me, I'm my own registered agent for all businesses and everything. So because I'm at home Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, I'm at home directly. So if anybody needs to deliver something to me or provide it, I am responsible for receiving that. And everything. However, I have seen in the beginning for my nonprofit, I did have another business do my registered agent because I didn't understand what a registered agent was. And I was paying like $130 a year. And then one year it rose to like 210. I was like, hold on. I was like, okay. And then I went to this class, and the class told me basically that I could be my own. So I had to go file the paperwork with the state and tell them, hey, I want to be my own. Then I called the company and canceled it with them, and they refunded me the money from the time I did not use them because it's a yearly thing. So should you be your own? If you're a person that's normally at home Monday through Friday, then yes, you can be a registered agent. Your cousin can be your registered agent. Your grandmother. Now, a lot of times, if it wasn't me, it will be my mother-in-law will be the registered agent because she is at home. She sits at home Monday through Friday directly. If you have a father or if you have someone that's normally at home and you're an on-the-go person and you're never at home, then you will want to give that to somebody. They just have to be. You just have to be. They basically have to be within your state. So if you're in the state of Alabama, whether you're in the state of Mississippi or wherever you are, they just have to be within the state. What is a mentor? Great question. A mentor basically is a person basically to help guide you along your way. Some mentors can charge, some cannot. For me, within consultations, there's only so much information that I give away for free. I do free information on my social media all day,
Mm-hmm.
and stuff. So and things, and I used to give out. I do inexpensive classes for like $20 for 2 to 3 hour classes and stuff like that. So on that sense, your mentor can be this person that helps walk and guide you along the way. They can be free or not free, depending on who that person is. Can we reserve a name before we legally start the business? Um, Yes, that's well. It depends on if you're in Alabama. That's the only state that you're reserving a name. Most of the time that you have to pay for, and most people, especially within the state of Alabama, most people they are the first. The first thing they do is reserve their name and stuff. But reserving your name does not say that this is your business is legal. That's what it says. It says that you reserve the name within this state, and this is your name for this said time. Valerie
Okay.
says, "Wow, my registered agent is only $39. That's good." Valerie, that's what you have to search. If you're not a person that you're a person on the go and you don't have like a valid address for nobody to do it, you could pay someone. But yeah, I know we were paying a lot. There are some out there. There are lower costs on it. I haven't found one for $39. That's pretty good, Valerie. Definitely, definitely pretty good. Denise, you have any questions? And everybody, my information is in a subscription box as well. So if you guys are interested in definitely having me work with you as well, or if you have any questions, you can always reach out. And everything. Denicia, did you have any more questions for me on business? All right. Did anybody else have any questions? All right. Well, I just want to appreciate you guys definitely for definitely taking your time out to definitely interview watch this interview. I hope I was able to answer some of your questions. If you have any more, we'll be more than happy. You can always email us at Hartman Consulting one. I'm sorry, Hartman Consulting at Outlook.com. All of my contact information, like she said, directly is in the description box below. So if you have any information or questions or concerns, or you need to get your child or yourself a business, I'll be more than happy to help guide you. If I cannot help you, I am more than welcome. I am a person, I will definitely contact you with a person that can rightfully help you. All right.
All right.
All right. Well, good evening, everybody, and have a good night. You're welcome, Asia.